So how does Danone do it?
We focus on light buyers because we know it's a leaky bucket.
And so let's take content. What's the exact process?
That everybody knows across the continent. Then we have global teams that cater for strategy, vision, roadmap. My name is Alexandra, and for the Belgian market, I am leading the digital media and e-commerce space. Which means that within a broader marketing department, we focus our efforts on making sure that we approach our consumers, sometimes customers as well, but mostly focusing on consumers with relevant messaging, differentiated content through the channels that matter, with the messages that matter.
So how does Danone do it? What's your, do you get a brief that this is what we need to communicate, and then do you give it your inventiveness or your creativeness?
Let's say that we live in a world where every big multinational is no longer naively thinking that they are the only ones in the world, right? We know that memories are fragile, that consumers shift between brands, and that we need to continuously innovate either with our products or with our communications. So within Danone, there is a philosophy that is called the laws of growth, or the growth flywheel, and we stand by that in Belgium as well, meaning we focus on light buyers because we know it's a leaky bucket. You continuously need to contact new people for them to try your products, to kind of keep your penetration high. We also know that memories are fragile. That's why on the media side of things, you need to continuously remind people that you exist. And also on the content side, you need to make sure that you're different, because even this morning we heard that we're bombarded with messages. Memories are fragile, but also attention span is less than a goldfish. I think already past
8 seconds.
That we're past that a lot, especially with the newer alpha generations. I think 1-2 seconds and they're gone. So let's say, looking at those three things, what do I do with my team? And of course, the big company, when it's about marketing, we say, okay, what is it that can we do being continuously present on media? We're talking traditional media, we're talking online media. Of course, budgets will differ, waves will differ, but taking the two into account, going by the consumer behavior, first of all. Belgium consumption of media is not the same as UK, as in India. We need to cater for all different markets. Then we make sure that our content is on point and trying to be as different as possible from all the other competition out there. Dairy brands, water brands, medical brands. And of course, when we take it one level down the funnel, so if we're talking e-commerce or conversion, we need to be present within the retail channels that are online as well today. We need to work with the pure players, for example, Amazon and all the other big guys of this world. We need to make sure that we also have content in the e-commerce space, which is on the point. Making sure that it's all somehow connected with certain data foundation and internally ways of working that make kind of left hand work together with the right hand.
And so let's take content.
Yeah.
How do you, what's the exact process of designing a content plan?
Yeah.
Is there some, how does it exactly work? I mean, Danone is big. I mean, it's not a single person, right? The single influencer goes and posts on Instagram or whatever. Yeah. But Danone is more complex.
Yeah. So as every multinational, we looked at this problem thinking, okay, can we cater for all markets with one single message and a piece of content? And well, you probably know that the answer is no. So we go with global brands, and sometimes we also, of course, have also local brands only present in 1 or 2 geographies. So when we're talking about big global multinational brands that everybody knows across the continent, then we have global teams that cater for strategy, vision, roadmap, and content creation. So we have also in-house capabilities that deliver content to different geographies based on the needs of those geographies. Okay, so that's on the global brand side. If we look at the local brands, then we actually deal with that locally. So we have a few in Belgium whereby we look at the consumers, we look at, for example, the top topicals, the hot moments, the what's trending, what's relevant for a particular Belgian on a Christmas day. What do they eat? What do they drink? What is on their dessert table, for example? And then we start tailoring our communication towards their habits and their wishes and their aspirations. So you always have to play in the field of both global and local, depending on the brand.
So say an Instagram post. what goes into a single Instagram post at Danone, and how much time do you take? Okay, I want to. Does it work like, oh, I mean, I want to put up an Instagram post tomorrow, and okay, let's take, or is there more planning? How does it
Yeah.
exactly work?
Let's look at the local brands, because this
Yeah.
is what I can control with today and work together with the brand teams. And in my team, we're lucky to have a position that is called content creator. So it's an in-house graphic designer that caters for the creative needs, the digital content creative needs of the different teams. So, for example, this person, her name is Alizé, if she will be seeing this video, she gets briefings from different brand teams to say, we have a campaign or a growth event coming up, and we would like to target these kind of people with this type of objective messages, and what can you propose as a visual communication towards that need? So that's one part of it. Sometimes, of course, we also look at more like a holistic strategy for the full year. Let's say even an always-on strategy, right? So there we tap into some top topicals or hot moments, as I mentioned before. Let's say Christmas, Easter. Some brands are specifically present or very kind of loud and live around specific moments. For example, we have a new TV commercial on one of our brands for the Easter season, and the family get together around the table. Then we see, okay, internally, what would make sense to digitally enhance this togetherness. And therefore, we, for example, create certain recipes that families, kids and parents can cook together around the moment of Easter. And then we push this content through our social media channels. What is very important is we don't do organic anymore, because that was one of the things that I stopped when I came in the company. I said, guys, that's just dead. Except very few social media channels, and I would say maybe TikTok is one of them that we're still trying with an organic strategy as well. But for the rest, we're not naive. We know that to be there, you need to somehow pay the bill.
And so you get an idea, okay, we should put a picture of people having dinner together, and we are going to write this content below it, and we're going to put it out. So is that Alisa deciding everything, or does she show it to you? How does it?
So Alizé works closely with the brand teams that, for example, she can propose 3 or 4 posts around this or this theme, and they say, yeah, it particularly, I don't know, this recipe is working better, let's say at tzatziki, for example, for my target audience, because we know also we have a lot of data points internally, so we know which kind of food affinity exists within the Belgian population, for example. Sometimes we also cater for more niche audiences. If there is, for example, a Ramadan, we've also done a Ramadan campaign, knowing that it's a big population of Belgium these days. So it's always in collaboration between the person who has the creative vision and the people who drive the business, like the brand teams, because they know their consumers, they know their objectives, their KPIs, and then they work hand in hand. And the third party within that is also the social media manager who's in my team. Then this person knows concretely what is the best fit for platform, fit for purpose. Are we talking story? Are we talking post? What are the best KPIs to monitor? So she is the expert of all things touch point. So then you have the objective of the brand, you have the content, how it could look good for people to, you know, kind of stop their thumb, right? Because that's all it is about, eyeballs and thumb stops. And then we have the third expert coming in to say, okay, do not do this platform, please work on this type of content. And then when this soup is cooked internally, it gets briefed to the agency. But then the agency receives the full briefing. And then the more the money comes in, meaning, of course, the booking is happening on the platforms, then we do the monitoring, the reporting and everything. But yeah, we work both in-house and with our external media agency partner.
And somebody who wants to be, you know, you're quite an achiever. So somebody.
I hope I'm still not done, but I like to, make things happen, let's say.
Yeah, so suppose somebody wants to, I mean, be like you, or be, have a career path like you. What would your advice be to them? Like, how did you start? And tell us a little bit about your personal journey.
That's an interesting one. Originally, I'm from Ukraine.
Okay.
So yeah, back
Wow.
in, yes, I know today it sounds on another level. My path has started with having my own startups and business back at home. So before I entered the different multinationals that I worked with, before Danone, there were a few others. I must admit that I've learned pretty quickly how to kind of stand on my own 2 feet and do things the agile way, like we like to say it in Europe. Well, in Ukraine, there is like no other way than agile way, because you kind of need to adapt day in, day out. Nothing is a given. You need to fight for it. And I think that also made me a lot who I am, because I don't take no for an answer, and I try to go the extra mile, and that kind of fighting spirit and the famous resilience of Ukrainian people that the whole world hears about now. It's true, it exists, it's in us, yeah? So that's part of my formula. And then coming to Belgium and starting my career in the multinationals, I would say, yeah, you
But
need to educate yourself.
you were like a science graduate. I mean,
Marketing.
okay.
Yeah, so I have 2 master degrees, and one of them was back in Ukraine, and the other one in Belgium on business administration, and within business administration, a part of MBA, which was really marketing related, because this is where I wanted to apply my skills, knowing that my entrepreneurial background from Ukraine wouldn't necessarily fit with the system in Belgium, so I had to kind of craft my own way. And then going through the different stages of, okay, which kind of sector or industry do I want to fit in? Okay, after 5 years, is this the one I want to stay in? Maybe not, let's try something else. So you kind of test and learn, but a bit on your own self. You have to continuously educate yourself. I'm super curious. So what is new there, what is something that I still don't know, it's not a blocker, it's something for me to kind of get inspired by. And last, probably becoming a leader and having a team of people. It's also very important to create trust, to be kind of their go-to and referral person, because that creates a certain universe in which everybody in your team wants to be an achiever. Everybody wants to go that extra mile, and having that kind of human glue is also very important for me.
And as a last question, any advice that you would give to a younger you, which you tell if you met yourself at whatever 18, 19, something that you would tell her?
I'm a perfectionist, so it was hard for me to let go, until everything was 100%. And then sometimes maybe I lost too much time in perfecting rather than moving on to the next thing. So I would probably say, don't be afraid to fail, but fail small, and don't always get to that 100%. Very often 80 or 90% is good enough, but then you can scale it, you can put your efforts elsewhere. So there's no need to, kind of make it a picture perfect. Sometimes we live in the world today where, there is more added value in kind of making the machine roll with a minimum viable product, and then make it bigger and bigger along the way, rather than making the very first, the biggest, the most powerful thing ever.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was
My
wonderful.
pleasure. Thank you.